Thank you for joining me in this video. I hope you enjoyed the last video that I posted on how these lighting mods are installed on our riding platforms. This is part 2 of that video series, so if you haven't seen the first video, check that out. But in this video, we'll talk about what to do when and if these lighting mods fail. If you've been following my channel, you know I had the Trick LED high visibility mirror lights installed on my 2025 Can-Am Spyder RTC to Sky. And when those lights fail, I'll show you a hack that I did so I wasn't exactly out of my money. And if you stay till the end of this video, you will see the upgrade that I did from the last video where I removed the Highway 99 Sea to Sky badging from the center console to deal with the premature wear that I was experiencing on the kick panels. So stay to the end of the video so you can see that upgrade. I'll go ahead and get the camera set up. We'll cue the intro and we'll jump right into the video. All right, let's get into it. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm Low Budget Spider Rider, also known as Kevin. I'll be your host on this channel. In front of me, I have two lighting mods. I have both of these lighting mods installed on my Spyder RT. The product to the right is going to be a generic LED daytime running light with the integrated turn signal that I purchased off of Amazon to replace the broken high visibility mirror lights that I got from Trick LED. And the product to my left is going to be the center fairing light that I have on my Spyder, and it's by a company called Sativ. I believe it's spelled S-A-U-T-V-S, Sativs. They make very good lighting products for these Spyder platforms. When my fender lights broke on my original Spyder 2015 Spyder ST, I replaced those fender lights with their comparable product and I had no issues out of it. I don't say any of this to bash Trick LED products. It's just giving you an example that if you have Trick LED lighting mods or any lighting mod on your Spyder that fails for whatever reason, and I'll show you some of the reasons it can fail when we inspect these two products. Those are cost-effective options. That center fairing light, I believe, was about $40 on Amazon, and a replacement daytime running light integrated turn signals for the mirrors, it was $20 for a set of two. Now, in the first lighting product that we'll see right here, when we look at the back, when I peel this 3M tape away, I can tell you right off the bat that they did not do a good job at sealing where the wires connect into the lighting mod. And as I told you in my previous video, it's very important that you check where the wiring goes into your lighting mod, because if they don't have it sealed properly to protect it against elements, this can be a reason why this light was short out, especially if it's going to be mounted in an area where water accumulates. If you had an issue with any of your lights shorting out, any of your lighting mods, leave it in the comments. Let me know what issues you've had with some of the lighting mods on your Spyder. Another thing that I can point out with this is very poor quality 3M tape. Now, when I peel this back, this part should remain stuck to the lighting element. As you can see, it's coming right off. So before I would even mount this, I would remove this whole strip of tape once I seal that, and I will replace this 3M tape with high quality automotive 3M tape. Because if you mount it with what they have here, I guarantee you it's going to fall off within days of putting it on. So when I look at the rest of this light, the rest of this light is very well sealed. It's flexible. It appears to be a waterproof housing, and it appears to be ideal for what I would want to use it for. Originally, this daytime running light is not made for a motorcycle. It is actually made for a car. And I can tell you one of the things about my channel, if you've been following it, I love to take things that have another purpose and kind of use it to what I need to use it for. And I'll show you in a second when I power this up why I chose this particular light, because it gave me similar functionality that the Trick LED light gave. All right, so we go to our second lighting product by Sativ. As you can see, this is the light that's in the front fairing on my bike. And it's made to basically, this is going to be a plug and play lighting mod. It's made to snap right into that front fairing. They did an excellent job at sealing all entry points on here to prevent water from getting in here. They did a good job at sealing the lighting mod where it connects to this fairing harness. And they even give you weather connectors on the plug for their harness. So they did an excellent job. But no matter who makes it, you always want to check it. You want to check those areas. You want to check on your plugs to make sure that they're connected as they should be to the connectors. And then I'll show you. This is a plug and play mod. So the wiring harness that they give you, this is what I have installed on my bike. This will be your connectors, your positive and negative connectors. To once you plug it into the bike, this is designed to get power off your keyed accessory port that's located on the right side, your throttle side of your Spyder. You would take the female connector, which is this one right here. You're going to have the male connector that's going to look like this, that's on the Spyder. Put a little bit of dielectric grease on the male end, that's on the Spyder side, and you're going to plug it right into here. That's going to give you your power. And then when you make this connection, this end to the light, it should power right up. And as you can see also on this harness, they gave you a secondary connector so you could add, if you wanted to, a second lighting mod or accessory mod that would require a key switch source. And they kind of give you a clue as to how many mods you can run off of that key switch source. 2, maybe 3, but I would keep it at 2. As I told you in my previous video, you don't want to overload the circuit. All right, give me a second. I'll show you how I use a 9-volt battery to test my LEDs before I install them on my bike. All right, so the first light we're going to test, I'm just using a simple 9-volt battery. This is a good way to test your LEDs before you install them on your bike to make sure there's no issues. We're going to test this daytime running light. And it's just real simple. This particular lighting mod has 3 wires. You have a ground wire that needs a grounding source. You have the red wire, which is going to be for the daytime running light, and you have the yellow wire, which is going to be for your turn signal. And we just simply make our connection. You'll see the boot up sequence for this light. Oops, let me get it right so you can see it. But that's how it would look when you power the bike on. That's the startup sequence that you would get. Now we'll test the turn signal to make sure that part of it works. And the turn signal works. So that's a good way to test it before you put it on. And you can do the same test essentially for the center fairing light. Negative to negative, positive to positive on the battery. As you can see, that center fairing light lights up. If you can, you always want to test your lights before you install them to make sure that there are no issues. And if you see that it's not functioning properly, probably not a good idea to put it on your bike and you can return it to center. But if you check those key areas that I pointed out in the back, if you check your wiring connectors, you want to look for defects. Another quick pro tip. If when you are inspecting your bike, and remember, you should periodically be inspecting the wiring harnesses on your bike. If you notice that you have cracked connectors that need to be replaced, these things crack over time, especially depending on where they're installed on the bike. If they're installed in an area that has high heat exposure, like near your engine or just out in the sun where they have sun exposure, these things can crack and they can break. But the easiest way to find a replacement, if you take your cell phone and take a picture of it, use Google image search, it'll pull up where you can purchase your replacement parts. Amazon sells a lot of these replacement connectors. I ordered a bag of them, so I have them already here. So if I have problems, I can just switch them out. And it's real simple. You would just cut the old connector off. I usually go midway down the harness. You cut the old connector off. You splice your new connections, put it together, do exactly like they did. Use heat shrink tape to seal that off, and you're good to go. And you are back in business. And another thing you want to purchase that's good to have too is going to be this USB drive. And on this USB drive, what it contains is the repair manual for my particular Spyder. I believe this one covers the 2024 through 2026 year models. It was $25. This is the shop manual that the techs have in the shop. It covers every aspect of your bike from mechanical to electrical. This is a good thing to have. So if you start having problems, you can kind of get an idea of what you may be dealing with before you go into the dealership. I always believe it's a good idea to arm ourselves with knowledge before we go into the dealership, so we know what they're talking about. You can also look up things as far as costs for replacement parts, labor costs, so you can have an idea of what you're going to be in store for if you have to take your particular Spyder into the shop. Give me a second, I'll transition. I'll show you the power distribution block that I have in the front that I use to wire additional mods into, and then we'll wrap this video up with me showing you the kick panel upgrade that I did to my Spyder. Now, as I pointed out in several videos now, I have this power distribution block that sits right between the two stock fuse and relay boxes. And the reason why I put it here is anytime that you have any type of electrical or key switch mods installed on your bike, you want to have things set up where if something goes wrong, you can get to the area where the fuses are to check the fuses. So I tend to follow what the manufacturer already has in place. This is where they have theirs, so I put mine's right in the middle between theirs. I have 4 additional circuits, like I've told you in the past, that I can add mods to. Each of those circuits have a separate fuse for that particular mod that's installed. Another thing that I did is I replaced the original stock bolts, hex nut bolts that they use to secure the battery cover panel on. I replaced those with wing nuts. So if I need to remove that panel, in case I have fuses for some of the mods that are back behind the panel that connect directly to the battery, I don't need any tools. I can just twist those out. I can pull them right out. I got those off Amazon. It is a very good upgraded mod to have. Also, what I installed in here was I have an additional USB power port that's right down here. This is wired directly to the battery with the fuse, and it gives me 2 type C ports as well as a type A port. And I just activate it by simply pushing the button right in the center. It gives me additional charging options up here in the front. Again, you want to invest in these wing nuts. Very simple, very easy mod. As you can see, it twists right off, and I can tighten it right back up. It just makes getting to your battery very easy, especially if you have to gain access to this area when you are, because you had a fuse blow and you were out on the road somewhere. You don't need any tools. You can just get right to it and take care of what you need to take care of. Now, as you remember in the previous video, I had the Highway 99 badge removed because I knew I was going to do this kick panel upgrade. This panel did not wear very well. It had a lot of scratches and swirl marks just from the bike being wiped down or the cover being on the bike. It didn't wear well here in the center part, and it did not wear well on the side part. So I added this upgrade from Wrap My Spyder. I went with the dome carbon fiber mod to put on the kick panels. I think it gives it a very, very elegant look. I was even able to get the Highway 99 badging back on there, so I didn't take anything away from the bike. I think it gave it a good look. It was a very simple mod to do. You just had to do the surface prep. You had to clean it using alcohol, 70% alcohol and paper towel. Then they gave you some adhesion promoter to apply prior to applying the kick panel protection. And they carry this protection in various finishes. If you don't like carbon fiber, they carry it in different color finishes. You can also add the Spyder accent upgrade you can have in the center. I just kept it simple. I think that this went very well with the current look of the bike. I think it matched the color of the bike very well with the black and the mocha brown accents. So I wanted to stick with that. So I really enjoyed putting this mod on here. It took maybe about 30 minutes to put all of the panels on, as you can see, and it gives it a nice look, a nice updated look. I think it gave it a very nice finish. I really want to say thank you to all of you that have subscribed to the channel, that have been following me on this journey. We will wrap this video segment up in the next video. I did have a few of you ask about how I installed an amplifier combo on the stock system. As I told you before, I do not have a separate Bluetooth module that controls that amplifier that's up in the front that is wired into the factory system. In the next video, I'll show you how I did that, and we'll wrap this series up on how to wire things into our Spyder platforms. And we'll transition into the new year where we'll continue to talk about ownership of this Spyder. Again, I thank all of you. I thank you for the views. I thank you for the subscribers. If you like this content, continue to like, continue to subscribe, leave those comments. If you have ideas about things you want to see in these videos, leave them in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to shoot a video for you. Remember, always live for the experience, and definitely enjoy the ride. Peace.